You're listening to Lore Friendly. On this week's episode, we're going to go over Game of Thrones, Comicon, and talk about some of the mods we like that came out this week. I'm Chris Takahashi, and with me, as always, is Alice Bell.
You changed up the whole
Yeah,
intro, Chris, and now I'm really confused.
Well, I wanted to mention...
shifted my life.
I wanted to mention all the stuff that we're going to talk about so people can know whether they want to keep listening or just turn it off.
Well, that's tough. People should just keep on listening anyway. And in the hopes that we'll say something relevant to their interests.
Yeah, they should do that. They should listen to the whole thing, even if none of the topics were relevant to their interests.
I mean, to be fair, like, I struggle to listen to us sometimes.
Well, this week we are actually announcing something beyond this podcast. We're actually starting a Discord channel.
Woo!
Yeah.
So, you know how sometimes if you check our Twitters, which you should always do, we'll post like screenshots of our Discord conversations. Now we're bringing that into the public eye. You can come into the Discord and you can shit talk with us.
Yeah, should we really be
It'll
doing
be
that?
great.
That is one fear I have about the Discord, is that there's going to be people who just absolutely cannot stand each other the same way we can't stand each other.
Well, we can stand each other. We're in a very, very unamicable relationship. Yeah. So let us talk you through all the different channels that we have on the 3D NPC podcast Discord. So we have general chat, well, which currently has us talking about being drug kingpins and drinking alcohol and an eggplant.
Yeah, there's an eggplant there. That's the highlight of the chat so far.
Oh, yeah. And then we have separate channels for all of the different shows that appear on the 3D NPC podcast channel. So we have us, Lore Friendly, where we're currently, where I responded to Chris's attempt to discuss belly buttons, and obviously he hasn't responded to me because he's a dick.
I told you. There's a lot of friction here. Yep. Someone's going to have to ban one of us eventually.
I'm the original kingpin, Chris. You cannot get rid of me because you can't make anyone else a kingpin.
Oh, that's true. I was too lazy to make the Discord, so Alice is technically in charge of it.
And this is the worst decision that we've ever made.
I think it's great because then if people complain, like, I could just send them to you. If people want somebody banned, then, you're judge, jury, and executioner.
Oh, shit, that's so much power. You know that I'm going to go power mad, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just going to be an absolute dick, and I'm very sorry about it. Then we have Low Disorder for Arian's show.
Yes, we do.
Which is a fairly active chat, talking about animals and butts. Then we have some new shows that are coming up that we'll let you explore for yourselves. And then we have loads of voice channels. And one of them is one where you go when you get drunk.
Yeah, well, I figured we needed at least, like, a game lounge area if people wanted to, like, multiplayer play together.
We can all play ESO together.
This is assuming people actually come to the Discord, which is
a
very large assumption that we should not make, but we did anyway. Then we also made a champagne room, which you mentioned.
Which is where you go to get drunk.
It's not safe for work, chat.
Boy.
Yeah, wink, wink. I'm winking right now, in case you can't tell. In case you can't hear my winking.
Oh, shit.
Oh, did you just join the champagne room? Is that because you're drunk?
I clicked on the champagne room and I closed off the call.
But yeah, we can also do live podcasts now on the Discord. And if you want to join the Discord, now see, this ties into making people listen to the whole show. We can actually just say the link slowly throughout the hour.
Like a little code.
Yeah, so it's discord.gg/7.
Is it?
And if you want the rest, you have to listen to the rest of the show. Get it? No, I'm just fucking with you. The link will be in the description. Or the comments.
As all our links are.
Yeah, I think it's better if we put in the comments, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, comments are a bit more visible. They require less clicking to get to.
So, this is a good test to see how many people are actually listening. There's probably going to be like 2 or 3 people who join tomorrow, I bet.
Hey, it'd be nice.
What's your over-under for people who join tomorrow?
1.
I'll take the over on that. There's gonna be at least 2, I'd say.
Well, I think it'll just be nice to not be all kingpins in
Yeah.
there, because at the minute it's just all of
We'll
us.
probably need moderators too, because I'm sure Alice is gonna slack at her job at being a kingpin.
Oh, yeah, I'm the worst.
You're one of those lazy kingpins who just sits back and collects her stash or her money.
I mean, that's what being a kingpin is all about. You dictate the roles that other people do.
Gets high on her own supply.
Mm-hmm. My own supply of shit talking
Yeah, so join the Discord.
on Discord. It's going to be so entertaining, you guys. You have no idea how much fun we are to talk to. Honest.
Yeah, please join.
As if this podcast doesn't convey how interesting and wonderful people we are. There you go.
So, moving on. Should we talk about the mods we want to highlight this week?
Yeah. Do you want to go first? Because mine ties in
Okay, yeah.
to the next topic.
So, one of them came out the other day, but this month I've noticed there's a lot of just weird mods. So, the first one I want to highlight is Thick Meat by Hisor. No.
Oh, already by the... What the fuck?
So, this is
What the
dog
fuck?
meat.
What?
Only he's made thick. His like mesh has been like distorted outwards, so he looks
the
kind of buffed
fuck?
and fat at the same time.
That thick dog pussy.
It's just a really bizarre mod, and it's just
Why?
It turns dog meat into a super buffed killing animal.
Poor dog.
If you think about it, it makes sense. He should have muscles. He should be strong to make it out in the wasteland. Plus all the like radioactive shit that's going on.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm surprised there are any normal dogs in Fallout.
Yeah, there shouldn't be.
So this is more law-friendly than the actual dog meat.
The second mod that's kind of in a similar vein that I found like it was like a lot of hard work, is one of the files of the month on the Nexus, is Cait as a female half super mutant.
Oh, it's adult only.
Oh, is it? By DLXXX.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It
Okay.
turns Cait into a super mutant, because I'm sure that's what everyone thought of when they first met her, because she's kind of a badass, but yeah.
She is buff as fuck.
It's a little weird.
God damn. She's like one of those Instagram models.
She's very shiny too. Like everything reflects off
Yeah.
her face. I don't know if that's just a texture mod. I think if you use a vanilla setup, it'll be a vanilla like skin. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was another weird one.
She looks fucking banging. Someone put some time and effort into this. God damn.
And the last one I found, which came out very, very recently and has only 3 endorsements at the moment,
Oh, wow.
is Male Voice Randomizer. And this mod, what it basically does is it takes all the male voices in the game, all the lines in the game, and just randomizes it. So you never know what the player is going to say.
It's Russian roulette.
Yeah, exactly. Like an NPC could be expressing their love to the player, and he could say, like, fucking kill, or something like that.
Where's my son? Have you seen a little boy? His name's Sean.
Like, I'm professing my love to you. What are you talking about Sean for? Although that kind of makes sense. It is a good way to deflect. I think I should start doing that when you start telling me something that's really deep and emotive.
Do I ever tell you anything deep
I
and
don't know.
emotive?
I was just using you as an example, but thinking about it now, you're probably a poor example.
Yeah, I mean, we have a fairly open relationship, Chris.
Yes.
So I have other people to go to have deep and meaningful conversations with.
You get to cheat on me, and I get to pick the TV shows, is what we established.
Yeah.
I think it's a good, healthy
I think we
relationship.
established something else, but I can't remember what else we established about our relationship. We deleted it. I can't remember.
Well, if you remember it, you can put it in the Discord, see? There
Okay.
you go. That's what it's for.
Okay. A record of our time together.
For legally binding terms of this
Yeah,
podcast.
shit! It's not legally binding if you can delete it.
Well, that's why you gotta take screenshots. You know, like they say the internet is forever, like Twitter is forever. It's because people take screenshots. I can still delete my tweets, which I plan on doing when I become famous. I plan on deleting all of them, but
Well, shit, I know what I'm doing tonight. Scrolling through your millions and millions of tweets about bloody NFL and shit.
Wrong.
God
See, that's how
damn.
I know you're not on my Twitter, because I do not watch the NFL anymore.
Well, I don't fucking know what different kinds of sport there are. I'm the drag queen expert. I don't know shit about sports. What's the basketball one?
The NBA. The NBA is what you're talking about.
Ah, okay,
Which you
yeah,
should be
so,
following, because it is the most drama-filled league in the world. It's basically Game of Thrones.
I'd probably prefer it to Game of Thrones, to be fair.
They even have, like, Game of Thrones parodies using NBA players as characters. That's how big the drama is.
What?
Yeah, it's called Game of Zones. Have you ever seen Game of Zones?
No. No, I haven't, Chris. Is it turned up into our joint recommended list?
I don't know, it might be.
Let me have a
You
look.
should watch it.
Let me have a
You
look.
might better understand the NBA and the drama that is currently taking place by watching all 7 seasons of Game of Zones.
Okay, so I've just been on to our joint channel recommendations, and it is a fairly even split between drag queens, makeup videos, and basketball. So you're regaining some ground here.
I need to watch more Steph Curry videos. Then you'll see how great the game is.
Well, I mean, I'm just so focused on ruining the recommendations list that I don't have time to watch anything that actually
You're not
turns
even
up
watching
on
the
there.
videos. You're just like clicking on them just so our recommendation list changes.
Maybe.
Anyways, speaking of Game of Thrones, your mod of the week, I believe it is
My
related.
mod is a really fairly accurate version of Daenerys Targaryen as a companion. Like, the face is pretty there, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's like a compilation of loads of different mods and things that come together to create this companion. The only thing I have to say is that for Emilia Clarke's version of Daenerys, I don't think that the young, eager default voice is the best choice. Because Daenerys is more deadpan than I am.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas the young, eager voice is like, oh, so I have this quest for you.
Whereas Daenerys is
Daenerys
like, where's
like,
Sean?
So I have this quest for you, and I need you to go do this, and
Where's
this.
my baby?
And I have no emotions whatsoever, because I am a queen, and powerful women do not have emotions. Even that was probably too expressive.
Is that a criticism of our favorite actor, Daenerys Targaryen? Oh, Emilia Clarke.
Maybe. It also may be a criticism of the directors, because I haven't really seen Emilia Clarke in anything else, so...
Is she in anything else?
She did a romantic comedy, and she did the Terminator movie
She did.
that came out fairly recently.
So to answer my question, no, she was not in anything else.
But yeah, I haven't really seen her in anything other than Game of Thrones. But I don't know. Anyway, the mod looks cool. It's probably one of the better looking Game of Thrones companion mods that I've seen, because I don't know, the dress is on point, the hair looks great. As in terms of aesthetics and things, you could easily pretend that you're running around with the Mother of Dragons. I'd just like to know like how she's spec'd. She's a mage combat. Her default spell is Conjuration.
Maybe she can call dragons. Like the other
That
mod
sounds
we
great.
highlighted like a couple weeks ago, I think. You can
yeah,
combine
yeah.
them.
Shit, we should like message the mod author about that. Anyway, this is by Hisor. Or Hisor. Hisor.
His whore.
His
That
whore.
is a horrible name.
It's his or, but I mispronounce things because I'm a mess.
What an unfortunate name for this mod.
I mean, anyway, check it out. It's so far got 27 unique downloads, and I feel like it looks like it deserves
Yeah.
more.
Although it might not be lore friendly to Game of Thrones, because does Daenerys Targaryen follow people?
Game of Thrones isn't lore friendly to Game of Thrones.
Maybe. So the other thing that happened this weekend was Comicon.
So many trailers, guys.
I've got like a
So-
trailer sensory overload in my brain.
There was actually stuff that I'm excited about, which is nice.
What are you excited about in particular?
Stranger Things 2.
Mm.
I loved the first Stranger Things. We talked about that on a previous podcast.
Yes.
internal consistency. And it was just so well done with how it built up into thriller, and it was just so 80s, and it was just so cool looking.
Ghostbusters uniforms and all that.
Yeah. What is it? Dragon's Quest? Something like that? That old animated Dragon's Lair? Is it?
I don't know.
Something like that. And like arcades and stuff, and it's just so good looking. And then, obviously, Westworld, another favourite of ours here on the show.
Yeah, that was very gory.
Yeah. Dolores looked badass as
She did.
fuck on that horse. With, like, fucking slung over with belts of bullets and shit. And, she just looks so cool. She's going to rain hell.
And Prostobot was back.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Bernard looked very confused as well.
They also had, like, dune buggies in there. It was like a whole Mad Max thing.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is,
Weird.
they've only been shooting for like a week.
And they've already... Do you think they were like, right, we need to put the trailer together now. Go. Action scenes, go.
I think that's how like studios probably work now. I think all the trailers from Comicon were probably shot first. They probably did the trailer first, then season finale.
Isn't that literally how they did Suicide Squad?
You make a trailer, if people get hyped for it, then you make the rest.
Yeah. But yeah, Westworld looks really cool. I can't wait to see some more Thandie Newton on my screen, because she was an angel last year, and I can't speak highly of her enough. Yeah, hopefully she'll win the Emmy, because she got nominated for an Emmy this year, I think. Justice League. I hate DC for letting me get excited about one of their films yet again. Hopefully it won't be such a letdown as Suicide Squad was, because I have never felt more betrayed in my life.
Who do you think the guy at the end was? They didn't show his face.
I'm not super big on DC lore.
Okay.
I have no idea who it could be.
Well, it could be Superman, because he should be making
wouldn't
a comeback.
surprise me. I mean, it's a Justice League film. Superman's going to appear at some point. He's not dead.
Could be the Green Lantern. There was like a green glow going on.
Maybe. Mind you, kryptonite glows green, doesn't it?
It's just gonna be a giant walking rock of kryptonite. But yeah, anything else you're excited over?
Yeah, there was Thor Ragnarok, where Chris Hemsworth gets a haircut, and it confuses me because I preferred him with the long hair. Also with a really cool 80s aesthetic.
Yeah, they try to give it that whole like 80s vibe. I think we're just getting assaulted with the 1980s as of late. You got Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first Blade Runner.
What?
I should probably get on that. It was recommended in my dystopias module last year.
In fairness, we are getting so many dystopias coming out, dystopian movies.
Yeah.
It's a little overkill at this point.
Is it kind of like a neo-dystopia kind of thing, like very technologically?
It's cyberpunk, I think, more or less.
Oh,
the 1980s were very, very into cyberpunk, because that's when the whole thing was invented. Like, you had Neuromancer, which is a novel by William Gibson, which has kind of started the whole thing, and then you have...
Yeah.
What was the name of that Neil Stephenson book? Fuck. I'm losing credibility by the second. Google
you can
save
just dub
me.
it in. You can just dub it in. It's fine.
Snow Crash. That is a great novel as well. And Blade Runner actually goes back a little bit further. It's based on Philip K. Dick's novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Another thing from that decade is actually going to become a video game pretty soon. Cyberpunk 2077 by CD Projekt.
Yes, that is coming. I really
is
want
the company behind the Witcher series.
I know which one you're on about.
Yeah.
That trailer introduced me to Archive, who is an amazing band.
Yeah, CD Projekt is making a game based on that.
Yeah, and they're not announcing anything about it yet. They've done like their teaser trailer 4 years ago now, and they haven't released anything else about it, which is sad. So I want to know. Oh, and then there was the Defenders, was it?
Ah, that's right, Defenders.
The only Netflix TV show that I've watched is Jessica Jones, which we have also talked about on this podcast.
Let's just keep promoting our own podcast. Listen to all the old episodes.
Exactly.
So you can catch up and understand what we're saying. But you've seen Jessica Jones, so you know Luke Cage.
Yeah, I've seen Jessica Jones.
So you know Luke Cage.
I know Luke Cage tangentially.
Yeah, and also Rosario Dawson was in that.
The nurse, isn't she?
And the Iron Fist
Which hasn't had great reviews.
is starring Loras Tyrell, and you know Sir Loras Tyrell. It's just him doing kung fu. I haven't watched it either.
So basically you're saying that I don't need to watch any of these other TV shows to understand the Defenders?
You know Sir Loras
Yeah.
of House Tyrell. You know Luke Cage, and you know Daredevil by a degree of separation. And you've watched Jessica Jones.
Okay. So basically, I'm well on my way for watching the Defenders.
Yeah.
It could be good. It could be not so good.
Are you interested in watching it? Sigourney Weaver
Depends
is
on when
the
it comes
villain, right?
out. Yeah, I think so. It depends on when it comes out and how far through the rest of my watch list I am. Because I've got a lot of shit to watch.
The Netflix ones are harder to do podcasts for because they come out all at once. The nice thing about Game of Thrones is that it goes week to week.
So you can just talk about it on a week-by-week basis. If you do get sick of our Game of Thrones reviews, let us know on the Discord channel. Because just let us know. We need to cater this to some semblance of an audience.
So speaking of which, episode 2, Stormborn.
Well, I mean,
So let's talk
more
about
happened.
that. So, Dragonstone. Basically, we learned that Dorne and the Tyrells have joined this coalition of badass women and a dwarf. Can't ignore the dwarf.
And
He's
dwarf.
pretty important.
It's non-discriminatory. Non-exclusionary feminism.
And the first thing we learn is Daenerys does not want to attack King's Landing and turn it to ashes.
She does not want to be the queen of ashes.
No, she does not.
I mean,
And there's a little bit of conflict because the other women, they don't necessarily agree until Tyrion, says that their plan is to attack Castle Rock.
which is a really stupid plan. Because you have to circumnavigate the entire continent. It's like when Yara sent her fleet all the way around the continent to get to Theon and then went back again. It's such a stupid plan. Castle Rock is a rock. It is a literal rock. There is no way that you're going to be successful attacking it from the sea. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's interesting how the entire plan is kind of based on just people not liking the Dothraki.
Yeah.
So, we don't want to invade King's Landing with, our Unsullied and Dothraki and our dragons because they will seem as outsiders. She's worried too much about the politics of how the politics will look. I mean, you're an invading force, right?
Yeah. You're going to be an invading force no matter what.
She's really worried and concerned with the politics. And then that sort of kind of reflects to how, I guess this is moving on to a different kingdom, but how Jaime tries to convince the Tarleys.
Randall.
Yeah, Randall Tarley to,
Randy Tarley.
betray the Tyrells by basically saying that, oh, well, look at all these brown people over here. You don't want to side with the brown people, do you? You don't want to join them. I mean, look at them. They're brown.
I find it funny how, Randall Tarley was like, oh, Dothraki, shrugs his shoulders kind of thing. But last season he was all like, I fucking hate wildlings. It's like, to be fair, the Dothraki are closer to you than the wildlings ever were. So how do you have that vehement a hatred of wildlings and not of Dothraki? He just kind of shrugged his shoulders at the thought of the Dothraki. It was only, oh, by the way, you can become one in the south. That it was like...
He's like, oh, okay, you convinced me. I'll betray my childhood friend then.
Yeah.
I do think that's kind of weird, though. I mean, it's just, he's like, I'm loyal. I'm never going to betray her. We grew up together. Yeah, but they're brown. It's like, oh, then in that case, fuck them.
Yeah, but you can become one in the south. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that too. He did appeal to his greed as well as his racism. But that's just how the Tarleys roll. Racism and greed.
Well, it's
over
like
honor.
Randall Tarley is so much different from his character last season. Because last season he was very women should stay in their holdfasts and get married when I tell them to and blah 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 blah. And then he was like, yeah, I'm cool with Lady Olenna running the Reach. Why not? Feminism, yo. It's just he's just done a complete 180.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, why he's cool with Cersei. Especially considering what she did to
his liege lord.
I don't get that at all.
And his other queen, and his liege lord's son and heir, And the fucking king of the faith.
And it's clear he is all for the patriarchy, given that he named his son Dickon.
Was it Rickon Tarly? Don't remind us about Rickon.
No, it's Dickon. He named his son Dickon.
I mean, come on, guys. That's not the best way to get it up. Just screaming, Dickon! We're not quite at that point yet.
It's like he's a superhero. You know how they have that catchphrase to, like, give them their superpowers?
By the power of Dickon!
And then when he's done, he's like, Dick off!
And what if it doesn't turn off? Is he just, like, stuck there like, well...
No, that's how it works. To be fair, that would be a pretty awesome power.
It would be great for a porn star.
Yeah. Especially, like, you know, a very long shoot. You have to work for, like, 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, I've been watching some documentaries, and they were saying that often shoots will go into, like, 7, 8, 9 hours. And they've got to just be able to get it up on cue.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And if they can't, then that's it. They're done in the industry.
Yeah, they usually need fluffers. I mean, I've never been in front of a camera having sex before, but I imagine it's really, really difficult. Like, there's a bunch of people just standing
when
there
you're
watching you.
With a load of strangers, yeah.
And it must be, like, hard to just have a normal erection, but if you can just say, Dick on! And Billy Bones. By the way, Dickon is played by Billy Bones from Black Sails. I found that to be a little weird.
Oh, man.
But yeah.
I love the name.
Yeah. But if you can just say
Billy
Dick
Bones.
on and Dick off, how cool would that be? Maybe that's how Grey Worm has sex, even though he's a eunuch. Because like I said at the opening, one of the things I spent last night doing, which I imagine a lot of you spent last night doing, is Googling, can eunuchs have sex?
If you think that having a pleasurable sexual experience relies on dick and vagina action, then you're doing sex wrong.
Right. That's the first thing. Obviously, you can still have oral sex. You can still, you can wear a dildo. I mean, you can do a lot of things.
Well, only like 30% of women can orgasm vaginally.
Right.
So
usually you need a bathtub faucet.
He just has to play around with the clit a bit.
Yeah, but that was not what I meant by can they have sex. I sort of meant can he achieve an erection? And the answer is...
he's got no dick. Like, they can still get, like, blood to that general area. It's just got nowhere to go.
Well, that's the question. Is he a eunuch where they just cut off the balls, or is he a Theon eunuch?
This is, like, harkening back to the pillars or the stones conversation that we never really got an answer to.
Right.
You know, from, like, season 4 when Daenerys was like, so do they cut off the pillars and the stones? And Missandei was just like, I don't know, I've not seen it.
Well, she knows now. But the thing is that the testosterone is made in the stones, right? So that when you cut off the stones, you kind of lose basically your ability to be aroused. A lot of it. You don't lose all of it. But from what I read in my brief research, apologies if this is wrong, but you can still achieve an erection even without having balls. I mean, we don't need to use a metaphor here. We can call them balls.
I feel like they cut off the pillar though as well, so you won't be able to.
Well, if they cut off the pillar, then there's no conversation. But let's say they cut off only the balls. You can still achieve an erection. It just takes more of an arousal than normal because you don't have the testosterone. Like, from what I was reading, it was saying that you can't achieve it just by looking at someone because there's just not enough testosterone there, but you can achieve it if, like, she went down on him, for instance.
Yeah, by, like, physical stimulation.
Yeah. So it is possible. And the other thing is that because you don't have that testosterone, you can last longer. That's what they were saying. So Grey Worm, he might be, if he still kept his pillar, it might actually work out because he could still get aroused and then he could last longer.
But even if not, there's like plenty of stuff that they can do.
Obviously, an emotionally healthy relationship should not rely on his ability to get an erection, but that's neither here nor there.
And his ability to stick a dick into a vagina. That was actually my favorite scene.
Yeah.
It was probably like the nicest scene we've had in Game of Thrones for seasons. It's been the first consensual sex scene, I think. And I don't count like brothel workers and things like that into it because that's a kind of grey area, especially with the sex slave workers. Like last season and the season before. Like this was probably the first consensual titties that we've had in like 3 seasons. Which we asked for last week.
And it wasn't like gratuitous. Like there was that very touching scene where he was kind of ashamed, and it was very well acted from a physical standpoint. Like, no words, just basically just his facial expressions. Like,
he is an actor.
Yeah, he's really good.
He is a genuinely really good actor, both of them.
But you could see the shame on his face when, like, he dropped his pants and, like, he didn't want to show her, like, the mutilation. But then, like, you could also see the empathy and the love on her face. And she's like, no, it's okay.
It was such a powerful scene. It was so good.
It was very nice.
Like, they've developed this relationship for 3 or 4 seasons now, and it actually feels like they've done something right. But one thing I do have to say about that scene is that dress unlaced really easily. I have worn things with laces before, and they do not come off that easily. I can tell you that for a fact.
Like I said last week, it's a time distortion.
No, like, she literally pulled it, and it just pulled open, and it was like, that's not how lacing works.
It actually took an hour, but because time was sped up, as often happens on Game of Thrones.
Inconsistent timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that dress kind of annoyed me. And why wasn't she wearing any underwear? Dragonstone must be pretty cold. I don't get the impression that it's like the nicest place to stay.
I guess when you're that hot, you don't need to.
Just radiate heat.
Yeah.
Maybe she's been cuddling up to Melisandre. That's the thing, Melisandre came to Dragonstone as well.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to converge everything and trying to do it really quickly. So, are we moving on to Winterfell?
Yeah, let's go to Winterfell.
So we have Jon Snow not only communicating with Daenerys, like that he needs the dragon glass, we have him actually physically going there to meet in person.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're just like, okay, so we had this Tyrion meeting and Daenerys, and that was like 2 seasons away now. We have to have another big meeting.
Yeah. But this is like the first time that they're going to meet, right? It's just like the 2 main characters of the story, more or less.
All in one room.
Yeah. I feel like because of that, because of the expectations, that it's not going to go well, that first meeting.
I feel politically it's stupid. It's just genuinely stupid from a political standpoint. You send envoys. Kings and queens rarely go to meet each other. They send envoys and they parley and things first.
Yeah. It's just going to be him and Davos, right? Yeah, that's going to go well.
Yeah.
She also wanted him to bend the knee. Yeah, like there's no way it's going to go well at the start, because obviously the way like a natural story progression would go is at the end they come together and join forces. So they're not going to start like being buddy now. But the one thing we did get because of Jon leaving is Sansa taking her rightful place as queen.
Fucking finally. It shouldn't have it should have been her place in the beginning anyway, and then she could be sending Jon as an envoy.
Right. See, I think that's how the books
that would have made so much more sense. Like, she's the lady in Winterfell, queen in the north, whatever. Then she has the position to send Jon as an envoy to Daenerys, and while she maintains control of her kingdom, her country, whatever.
They made that unnecessary conflict because of that.
I did appreciate Littlefinger getting choked out, though.
They finally brought Littlefinger back. I mean, he's been standing there, like, looking squirmy.
Nodding and smirking.
I mean, I feel like he should be in the corner doing finger steeples. I mean, every time. And then they have him sort of creep into the crypt and say Littlefinger things.
That is the worst. That is the one thing you should never say to anyone's sibling, like, under any kind of context. I loved her mother, and now I love her. Yeah. That is basically saying, I want to bang your sister, and that is the one thing you should never say to someone's sibling.
Yeah, they just had to reestablish what a creep he is, like, as if we didn't know that already.
Yeah. It's nice to see someone, like, in the series actually being like, no, that's fucking creepy, you weirdo. I just wish he got choked out more. And died.
But then that wouldn't be Jon Snow like. He doesn't do anything that is against his code.
Maybe Brienne can kill him. I think Brienne should kill him.
Yeah, well, he's gonna die. Someone is gonna kill him. I mean, I think it's probably gonna be Sansa who does it, but...
I still want Sansa to go back to the Eyrie and push him out the moon door.
Like, why is he even there?
But then she has no reason to go back to the Eyrie, so...
See, this is why the whole thing with Sansa is just weird, because Sansa has no reason to like trust Littlefinger at all. Yeah. Whereas in the books, there's still a bit of that like conflict there. Like we don't know if he's gonna like worm his way into her heart or whatever. Is Littlefinger a snake or a worm? I don't know.
I mean, Littlefinger, it kind of implies that it's more worm-like than snake-like. That's the thing. Who's looking after Robert Arryn in the Vale?
I don't know.
Because Littlefinger's here, who's his legal guardian, and Royce is here, who had him as a ward. So who the fuck's looking after
Someone
him?
should send a raven.
Hi, Uncle Peter! I'm doing really well in here!
Because one thing that has been consistent in this show is that ravens are pretty much unstoppable. Although I guess one got shut down once, but for the most part, like Raven Mail has been pretty awesome throughout this whole 2 episodes.
I feel like it'd probably be more reliable than Discord. We should set up a Raven channel.
Yeah. Ignore that first part of this podcast. We're ditching the Discord. We're going to go straight to Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be so much more quicker, so much more efficient. Well, technically it won't, because ravens will probably die crossing the Atlantic. But, I mean, to be fair, the distance between the North and King's Landing is probably the same as... Because George R. R. Martin's scaling is fucked.
Ravens, they think about the plot, and then they conform to the plot as far as how fast they go.
Yeah. And they time warp and shit.
So you notice, like, Samwell's Raven to Winterfell was probably, like, the last Raven, even though it should have been the first, maybe.
Yeah, it was probably, like, a really old grey Raven... Just like, oh, I just need to take a stop off at this hold fast and this hold fast and give me a minute, I'll get up there in my own sweet time. That's how ravens sound.
It probably had grayscale.
Yeah, it's probably being weighed down like,
I mean, last week we had the poop montage. Did you enjoy the whole grayscale to food scale?
I do like a bit of pussy gore and shit. It was quite... Right, I'm someone who watches, like, pimple popping videos and things.
Oh, okay. So, that was right up your alley.
So, I was kind of like, oh, this is so good.
It's a nice release to get that pus-filled grayscales.
I was just like, okay, I can get behind this. This is pretty cool. I think it was better than the poop montage. Cause
Poor Samwell, though. Poor Samwell. Last week.
I don't think that Samwell is the kind of guy who watches pimple popping videos, is he?
He's holding up pretty well, though. I think, though, by the season finale, it's just going to be 60 minutes of him barfing.
Finale! Again!
Okay. But yeah, I think by the season finale, it's just going to be 60 minutes of him barfing all over the place. After, like, what is it, 10 episodes of just crazy shit.
Pus and guts and gore. Just like, ugh. He's going to be using those bedpans.
That's how he's going to stop the White Walkers. It's not going to be Dragon Glass. They're going to find out that
he's just going to vom all over them.
It's Samwell's barf from 10 episodes of just hell that he's gone through. He's going to just barf all over the whites. They're all going to die.
It's going to burn them because it's slightly acidic. That's the thing. How does acid react with fire?
I don't know. But we're going to find out.
I've never been... I mean, I've never been much of a scientist, but is acid, like, flammable? I feel like it should be flammable.
Something to discuss on the Discord.
I'm actually intrigued now.
Maybe one of our subscribers knows how to use Google.
Yeah.
Unlike the two of us.
I mean, I've got a big microphone in front of my computer right now, so I can't really reach around.
What did they call...
what a shame.
What did they call Samwell after he killed the White Walker?
Sam the Slayer.
Sam the Slayer, see? It's all a callback. When he ends up saving Westeros, people are going to remember, oh, that's why they called him Sam the Slayer. It started off as a joke, but now it's real.
Because he threw up over everyone. Oh my god!
The only way it could be a better ending is if somehow Dickon was involved. That's just because.
Dick off! Yeah.
Do White Walkers have dicks? Oh, anyways.
Probably.
Because maybe they're just going to be so impressed by Dickon's dick-off powers that,
They're just like, well, shit. You can have Westeros, man. We're done here. What else happened?
Oh, we had Cersei with the underground skulls, and she just... I don't know, did that piss you off? It pissed me off to no end that she just cracks this priceless dragon skull with her crossbow. Like, was that really necessary? Couldn't I not just take your word for it?
Think about all the armor you could make out of that. You just need to get your armoring up to 100, and then you could make like a full set of armor.
It's
out
a
of that.
priceless artifact, though, and she just broke it.
Well, given that she blew up the Sept of Baelor, I don't really think she cares that much for history. To be fair.
You're right. You're right about that. I do think that they've got the scale wrong. Instead of making a larger crossbow, they should be making toothpick crossbows, because
Get under the scales, like.
those are deadly. Banned in China,
Yes.
even. Banned across the world.
I mean, maybe that's what he based the design off of.
Probably.
What else was there? There was Arya being really weird when she met Hot Pie.
There's Arya. She's in this eternal conflict.
That was bizarre.
Well, it's this internal conflict of whether she wants to go north or south. So she first starts heading towards King's Landing because she's a killer now. She's not a Stark. She's gonna go south. I mean, this is the conflict that's been playing on for like 2 or 3 seasons, right? Like whether to go with Brienne. They have to kind of hit you over the head with it. Like Hot Pie says, like, did you go with Brienne? Like, no, that happened like 2 seasons ago. I had another decision later on that mirrored it, and then I'm gonna make another decision in 5 minutes that also mirrors it. But it's always this tug and pull, right? What's the word? Push and pull. What?
It was just her
Tug of war.
Her interaction with him was like so stilted. She seemed happier with the Lannister troops than she did with someone who actually supported her and was a friend to her.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to hammer home the point that she's like lost her emotion and like she's a cold-blooded killer. And then when she says, "Oh, I'm going home now," she like brightens up and perks up. I don't know. It's just kind of they're trying to
I suppose.
have those kind of facial reactions.
I'm glad
mirror
that we
her
actually
emotions.
saw a direwolf as well.
Yeah, I mean that's been hinted in the books already, right? But it's the first time on the TV
Oh yeah,
show.
like she's a warg in the books.
Yeah. So
very explicitly.
she was headed towards King's Landing, but she meets an old friend, Hot Pie, and then Hot Pie tells her about Jon Snow being the King of the North, so she reverses direction and goes north, and then she, runs into Nymeria, and the last line is, "That's not you." And the question is whether she's talking about Nymeria or she's talking about herself. Because the line before that, she was saying, "Oh, I'm going home," and then the line after she goes, "That's not you." So if she's referring to herself, she's saying that that's not you. You shouldn't be going home. You're a killer now.
Or
But if she's talking to Nymeria, she's saying, "That's not you. You shouldn't leave me.
yeah.
You should be reuniting with me in Winterfell." Like, it's left ambiguous as to whether she's going north or south after she sees Nymeria.
Yeah. I reckon she's still gonna go north though, because it'll be wonderful dramatic irony for her to just miss Jon Snow. You know how they like these near misses.
I kind of got the feeling she's going south, though, because Nymeria kind of turned away from her, and then she's like, "But we're supposed to go home to our family," and then she kind of realizes, "Oh, wait, that's not you, you're a killer now." That's how I kind of read it. I don't know.
No, I think that they're going to go for the dramatic irony rather than okay, yes, she's definitely going down south.
But see, I think if she goes north, she's gonna meet Sansa, she's gonna see Bran, possibly, because Bran's, like, in the area, right?
Yeah, but she's got the best relationship with Jon, and the fact that she'll have just missed him, I feel like, is going to be more appealing to the showrunners.
We shall see. I think she's still gonna end up
Next week.
in King's Landing, and she's gonna kill Cersei. I think ultimately she's the one who's gonna do it.
Yeah.
We shall see. We don't know.
I think Cersei's just going to blow herself up.
The thing about it is she kills Cersei, though, that might kind of complete her transformation into, like, the evil Sith Lord that she's becoming, so...
Cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, I take that back. I don't know why I just said that. There's no way they're going to make her evil at the end.
She's too cute she's got too cute a face to be evil.
Yeah, but I think she's going to come close, and the only way she comes close is if she goes to King's Landing. Of course, if she goes north, she could kill Littlefinger. If anyone's gonna kill Littlefinger.
Sansa's got to kill
that's
Littlefinger.
True. That's true. And the
got to.
last thing is the battle at sea. That was the big
OP
thing.
Euron.
Yeah.
What the
I felt like it was just a battle that needed to happen to kill characters off.
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
You know what they should have? They should have an episode where all the characters that nobody cares about gets into one big arena.
Like celebrity deathmatch
Yeah.
style.
It's like a battle royale, and the last person standing gets to make it to the end. They're like, you get to hang out with all the characters we do care about, if you win.
Yeah, that'd be fair motivation, to be fair. It was just... I mean, where did all the fireballs come from?
I just assumed that Euron learned how to spit fire.
He specced into a couple of destruction spells.
Yeah, he turned into Dalsum from Street Fighter. basically.
It was just...
He's just as overpowered.
Yeah. He was just so OP out of nowhere, and it really did nothing for me. It's like the showrunners are trying to contort characters' pre-established abilities and things to suit the plot. Like, there is no way on earth that Euron should have a fleet that big within the space of a couple of months. They're doing the Meyronese not.
Yeah, they're trying to even the odds, more or less, I think, because right now, at the start of the episode, Daenerys had all of Westeros aligned with her pretty much, other than the Tarleys, of course, because lol, racism and greed. But it seemed like all her moves at the beginning are going to fail so that things can even up with her and Cersei. And you knew that her initial battle plan was kind of doomed to fail, especially after Olenna kind of, reminded her that men are idiots, and for the most part in this show they are, and not to listen to them. And she listened to Tyrion, and look what happened. Mr. I Hate Casterly Rock.
I feel like there's ways that you can even the odds without breaking in-universe consistency. And the fact that they made Euron so overly powerful with such a massive fleet with no kind of seeding for that, when Yara and Theon basically stole all of the ships. There's no way that they could have built a fleet in that amount of time. That's the kind of fleet that takes years and years and years to build. And I feel like that they could have just had Theon and Yara steal off with a couple of ships. And that would have evened the odds a little.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And make it very explicit that they don't have enough support to pledge the entire Iron Islands. They can pledge themselves, and that would have evened the odds a little.
Right, the problem with that, though, is they needed the ships to bring Daenerys' army across, right?
Well, then they didn't have to burn the entire fleet that was at Meereen.
Yeah, that's true.
Which they did. They're trying to fix plot holes that they make by completely breaking the universes. But it seems like they're prioritizing, like, burning the fleets at Meereen was a spectacle.
Yeah, it's TV for you, though. We want spectacle.
I know, but it's just bugs me because it was a lot more.
Give me my
consistent
eye
in the early
porn.
seasons and...
Where's Sean? I'm just gonna yell.
Sean!
Where's my baby? I'm just gonna yell.
Coral! Where are you, Coral?
So on a scale of Skyrim characters, we're gonna do Skyrim characters this time. What do you give Game of Thrones?
A Nazim.
Why a Nazim?
Because it bugged me. And it lacked internal consistency because we never see Nazim in the Cloud District.
We don't. Oh, that's... That's a good correlation there. I am going to give it a General Tullius because everyone is trying to make allies in this episode the same way Tullius did with the Thalmor, and it's some sort of coming back to bite them in the same way.
Don't you think the General Tullius reminds you a little bit of Randall Tarly?
He does. They're both very imperial looking, for lack of a better word.
I could totally see Randall Tarly's actor in the armor, to be fair.
I wonder if General Tullius has a son named Dickon.
Yeah.
Dickon Tullius.
Doesn't he have a son and he gets killed in like the Dark Brotherhood questline, or is that another general?
I think it's a different
Is it
general.
like a Philida or something like that? Amadis Philida is the one from Oblivion.
It's not
who gets
Tullius's kid. It's a
killed in
different
Anvil.
guy.
No.
But if Tullius had a kid, he should totally name him Dickon, because then he could do porn, even if he got his balls cut off. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
I think we're alright.
Okay. Well, that's it for this week.
Join us on our Discord channel. Donate to us on Patreon. All that jazz. Follow us on social media. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. We're all there. Well, I am. But I don't give out my Instagram and Snapchat publicly. So, follow us on Twitter.
And don't forget to subscribe to the Discord. Or not subscribe. Join the Discord.
Yeah, boy. And subscribe to the channel. There we go. Sorted. Goodbye.
Bye. WG4EYD. See, if you listen to the end, you get the rest of the link. Or you could just read the comments. I think it's just because I switched the mic to the good mic. Before I was using the headset mic. Although,
okay.
yeah, wait, how's that? Did that change anything? Hello?
Speak
Hello?
again?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm gonna yell.
Everything's good on my
to see
end.
if I can clip.
Please don't. My headphones are
I'm
quite
gonna just
high.
talk really loud. Okay, that's good.
Hi, my name's
Okay, we're good.
Chris.
Are you recording?
Sound test done?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm recording. I've just got 40 seconds of sound checks, so that's how you know it's going to be a good podcast.
Kryptonite, I mean, what's that compared to a toothpick crossbow?
What if you lined the toothpick with, like, kryptonite dust? You would have the ultimate weapon.
You could kill not only dragons, but also Superman.
Yes. Exactly. Shit, let's get on it.
And children, which is why it's banned.
Yes. I mean, we could always do with less children. What?